am so excited to see each and every one of you here. Thank you so much. And it looks like in the chat, we have a lot of people that believe that, yes, they are a best kept secret. And so I want to be sure that we use today to help you begin to change that trajectory, to move from being the best kept secret to being an in-demand resource. So let's really dive into today's topic, which is all about understanding your specific key audience. Now, let's make sure you're in the right place. Now, you're in the right place if you're in the early stages of building your business, but you're not quite sure how to position yourself or your message in a way that truly sets you apart in a crowded marketplace. You're bringing a wealth of corporate experience to perhaps your coaching or consulting practice or your entrepreneurial journey, but translating all that expertise into a clear, compelling message can feel overwhelming. Or maybe you've been in business for a while, but the visibility just isn't there. Clients aren't coming in consistently. And truthfully, the world's best kept secret describes you maybe just a little too well. Now, if any of these sound like you are in exactly the right place. Whether you're just starting or you've been building your brand for years, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you if you're not getting the level of attention and you're not seen as a respected, trusted authority yet. You simply haven't had the framework, the support, or the clarity that aligns your brilliance with the right message and the right audience. And that's what today is all about. And let me tell you, if you've ever been called the best kept secret, I get it. But we're going to rewrite that today because your message matters. And it's time for more people to hear your message and learn from your brilliance. All right. Now, before we jump in, I want to make sure that we are aligned on our 4 agreements. So before we dive in, I want to set the stage with our 4 agreements for this session. First, I'm committed to keeping this real. No fluff, no hype, just real life scenarios that you can actually learn from. Second, I invite you to be active. That means take notes. Respond when prompted. Get ready to take action. Listen, this is your time to lean in and invest in your success. So be active, be engaged. And keep in mind that I'm going to open it up for questions, especially in the last 15 minutes. So everyone will have an opportunity to chat, to talk, to offer their thoughts, ask questions, because we do want this to be a community. Third, remember, this is a business. And results aren't guaranteed. And success does take effort. Regardless of what you may have heard from some false prophet, you cannot design your future in working 15 minutes a day. You just can't. You own your outcomes, and the energy you bring actually matters. And finally, you'll have an opportunity to go deeper after the masterclass if you're feeling inspired to take next steps. So as I said, we're going to have some incredible opportunities to be a part of the leadHERship Global community if you really want to accelerate your success. All right. So agenda for our very first session together. Well, let's begin with your foundation, your audience. We're going to clarify exactly who you're speaking to so that your message lands with precision and with power. You're going to learn how to eliminate vague, generic messaging and instead use the exact language that speaks directly to the hearts and the minds of your ideal clients. When you truly understand your audience, I got to tell you, decisions become easier and your business begins to grow much faster, but importantly, with greater alignment. So today we're going to explore how to position yourself as a category of one. You'll learn how to become the trusted authority in your field, the go-to expert that your ideal client chooses without hesitation. Now, there's a critical factor that many businesses overlook, and it's what makes you uncopyable. So my intention over the next 4 weeks is to empower you. And together, we're going to identify the gaps where you may not even recognize that you're stuck. We're going to identify areas where you may have hit a roadblock, an obstacle, you may feel stuck. We're going to uncover hidden gaps, and we're going to spotlight all kinds of growth opportunities. And each insight that we explore today is really important. But I got to tell you, when they're combined, they become absolutely crucial. So even if one piece of what we're going to talk about today is unclear, I got to tell you, it can affect everything. So let's get aligned and clear, because that's where your true momentum really begins. All right, so here we go. I'm going to ask everyone to jump in with an exercise right from the bat. Let's take a moment to really get to know your ideal customer, because this is the foundation for everything. Your messaging, your offers, your marketing, and your results. If you're not crystal clear on who you're speaking to, your message can get lost in the noise. So ask yourself, who would you love to work with? Who lights you up? That may or may not look like your current client base. So I want you to have in mind the picture of the exact person that you would love to work with. Second question, who's already saying yes to your product or service? Who are the people you're currently serving? What do they look like? What are their pain points? What do they care about? Importantly, what do they have in common with the people you want to be serving? Do they happen to be in the same age range? Do they happen to be in the same part of the world? Do they happen to be in the same industry? Do they happen to have the same concerns and issues? What do these two groups have in common? Next, what are their defining characteristics, their values, their stages in life, maybe their stage of business, their goals? What are they truly looking for, and how do you want to feel when they find you? That is so important. We want to be sure that we not only know who we want to work with, but we want to know, how do they want to feel when they find you as the solution that they've been searching for? And lastly, and most importantly, why? Why should they fall in love with what you're offering? What makes you distinctive? What makes you different? Why should they fall in love with you? Now, I will say the internet and social media has been incredible for so many reasons, but it's also increased the competition level for every single industry, every single product, every single offer, because your competitors are not next door. They're not just in the same town or city. They could be all the way around the globe. So it is really important that you understand what your ideal clients are looking for and how you meet that need. Now, when you can answer these questions with clarity and with confidence, you'll be attracting not just more clients, but the right ones, the ones who are aligned with your vision and who will become your biggest advocates. So let's build from that place of alignment today. I'm going to ask each and every one of you to jot down answers to the questions on the slide. What pops into your head first? Don't think about it too much. Just take out a piece of paper, take out a notepad, something like this, and literally just write down what comes to mind for each and every one of you, in terms of, again, the questions on the slide. Who would you like to buy your product and service? And compare that to who is actually buying your product and service. So I'm going to give everyone 5 minutes to go through this exercise together. All right. Are most people at a place where you have been able to answer most of those questions? Are you feeling good about it? Okay. Well, the good news is that all of you are going to have an opportunity to go through this exercise in a little bit more detail over the course of the next week. So this is part of your homework, is to actually go through the exercise and jot down answers to the questions on this slide. And we want to be sure that each and every one of you have an opportunity to answer this question, because this is where success begins. Okay. So let's move on and talk about the spherical branding brief. This next piece is one of the most important exercises in the entire series. And I encourage you to give it your full attention, because here's the truth. Your brand is more than your colors, your logo, or your tagline. Your brand is the experience that someone has with you. It's the feeling that they walk away with after every single interaction. This spherical branding brief helps you see your brand from every angle: who you are, what you stand for, and how others perceive you. So start with your core business. What is the highest calling of your brand? Not just what you sell, but what your work means to the people that you serve. What do you want your brand to stand for in their lives? Then move to the brand positioning block. Use this simple formula to clarify how your brand shows up. To your ideal audience, your brand is the only coaching service, the most inclusive platform, the most competitively priced option, whatever it is, that delivers your unique benefit, that delivers unparalleled value for driving new prospective members, that delivers extraordinary efficacy in marketing strategy, whatever it looks like. So you have to be able to frame your offer in literally that brief of a sentence. And your 15-second pitch, get ready, because it is based on this. In your 15-second speech, when someone says, "Hey, Linda, what is leadHERship Global? What do you guys do?" I should be able to frame a response based on my brand positioning that not only captures their attention, but that also clarifies what we do and how we do it. Next, you're going to bring it to life with the brand personality. If your brand were a person, how would she show up? What traits would she embody? Bold, wise, curious. This is your opportunity to infuse authenticity and character into your messaging. Now, think about it. If your brand was, say, Ferrari, the kinds of descriptors that you would use would be a little different from your brand if it was a smart car. So a smart car, you may say things like economical, cost efficient, gas efficient. But if you're Ferrari, you may say things like sophisticated, sexy, sleek. And that's what we're talking about when we are defining your brand personality. If your brand were a person, how would they show up? What traits would they embody? And think about the kind of traits that pop to mind with some of the brands that are most iconic, most well-known. And what are the traits they embody? Now, how would you describe your brand as compared to some of the brands that you admire most in the world? And lastly, and finally, reflect on user affiliation. Ask yourself, what would I want other people to assume about someone who becomes my client? When someone says that they've worked with you, what should that say about them, right? So if somebody knows that I bought a Ferrari, well, what does that say about me as an owner of a Ferrari? Or if someone knows that I drive a smart car, well, what does that say about my values, my principles? What does it say about who I am as an owner of a smart car, right? So what you really want to think about here too is, again, what would you want other people to assume about you because you are purchasing the products or services of a particular brand? Now, this exercise gives your brand its voice, its heart, and its power. So take your time, lean in, and allow your highest vision to guide you. Because keep in mind, you're not just building a business, you're actually building a legacy. And this is also in your homework of the resource section. So in the resources, right, under week 1, you're going to see a template that you can use to complete your own spherical branding brief. Because as I said, this is an incredibly powerful exercise. And when you get this right with clarity and confidence, it will absolutely change not only how you think about your brand, but how you communicate your brand. All right. So next, let's talk about where I know many of you are right now. So many of you, when you think about, well, how do I find my right audience and how do I message my value? You begin in an exercise that I just called What's in It for Me. And many of you use this exercise to help begin to create the foundation for your offerings. But really, this exercise is all about transformation because that's what people are truly investing in. They're not just buying your service or your program, they're buying the outcome. They're buying the shift. They're buying the change that they want to see in themselves or in their business. So that is absolutely what's in it for them. It's not about your attributes, your characteristics, your experience, your expertise. It's about how to move your clients from being stuck to being clear, from being confused to confident, from being invisible to being seen and celebrated. So I have to ask you, what journey are you inviting your clients into? That's really the question that you're asking and answering in the What's in It for Me exercise. Because when your audience can visualize where you're taking them and they believe you, that's when the magic happens. When you're able to explain to them how you're going to help them go from stuck to clear, from confused to confident, and from invisible to being seen and celebrated. That's when your audience can begin to visualize the transformation that you're offering. That's when trust is built and when decision-making becomes easy. So let's make your transformation visible, powerful, and undeniably compelling. Now, the transformation that you're offering, I got to tell you, has got to be something that absolutely keys to a pain point that people care about or an opportunity that they believe they don't have access to without you. So when someone chooses to work with you, she's not just buying a product or service, she's saying yes to transformation. So what are you really offering? Are you giving her access to expert insight, relationships, or support that maybe she can't find anywhere else? Are you offering a proven process that finally solves a problem that she's been stuck on for way too long? Or maybe you're delivering a solution to a concern that's keeping her up at night, something that truly matters to her. Well, the transformation you offer is the reason that she'll say yes. So get crystal clear on the outcome you're promising and make sure it speaks directly to the heart of what she needs most right now. That is what's in it for her. It's not the attributes, it's not the characteristic, it's the transformation that you're offering. Now, as I said, it can be an answer to a pain point, but it can also be the opportunity to take advantage of something that's out of reach for most people. So whether you're moving someone from bad to good or good to great, that transformation needs to be clearly articulated in every single touch point of your business. And when you lead with transformation, your offer becomes magnetic. And the transformation can simply be a shift from really good, I'm pretty happy, but boy, I would love to be great. I would love to take that next step in my journey to accelerate my success. So, are you helping her experience betterment of some sort? Maybe a measurable shift in her confidence, her clarity, or her quality of life? Are you providing a key information that's scarce? a specialized perspective or strategy that's hard to find, but absolutely game-changing when it's applied. Now, remember, the transformation that you're offering needs to be visible, powerful, and undeniably compelling. So make sure that you are not promising some sort of transformation that's too esoteric, and most other people will not understand or recognize how important that is. All right. So next, let's talk about laddering exercise. Now, I will tell you, I was introduced to laddering exercise when I worked for some of the most powerful, influential advertising agencies on the planet. When I worked for Ogilvy and Mather and J. Walter Thompson and Hal Riney and Partners, some of the biggest names in advertising agencies in the world. Think Mad Men. Well, I was one of the senior executives in a Mad Men-like agency. And the laddering exercise that I'm about to go through is from that experience. Every single agency has something like this. So this is your opportunity to go even deeper into the transformation that you offer, because I got to tell you guys, this is truly what sets your work apart. Now, let me give you an example. And literally, this is from my advertising agency days. One of our accounts was Serta, which is a mattress brand. So think about mattresses with me for a second. There could not be a more dull, boring, commodity product in the world, right? Every mattress is just like every other mattress. And what happens is in any industry, when you have a parity product like mattresses, everyone talks about the attributes. We have 327 reinforced coil springs. We have double insulated mattress stuffing. We have only the finest damask silk. We have double reinforced stitching. Those are all attributes. No one cares. By the way, no one cares. And what I would say for many of you is I've seen your advertising, I've seen your social media, you're still stuck in attributes. We service 857 clients. I have 32 years of experience. No one cares. No one cares. What they care about begins to be hinted at the next level, which is benefits. At the level of benefits, you're actually starting to pay attention to me and talk about how you're going to benefit me. So in the mattress example, the attributes are the coil springs, the double reinforced seams, the damask silk, it's the double insulated padding. But the benefits are I get a good night's sleep. The benefits are I can actually sleep through the entire night. So that's incredible. And I feel really lucky that I'm able to sleep through the entire night. And I don't disturb my partner, and I get a good night's rest, and I feel more refreshed in the morning. That's amazing. I feel good about my mattress purchase because it solves a problem I had. Restless sleep, no sleep, waking up several times a night. So I'm getting a lot of benefit from this. But I got to tell you, that's just scratching the surface. When you begin really talking about the consequences of those benefits, now you got me. Because what does it mean if I have a good night's sleep? Well, it means I wake up the next day and I am able to do my very best work. I'm more alert. I'm a faster learner. I'm more competent. Maybe it means, honestly, I get to be more successful. I'm a better listener. I have more patience. I have more emotional bandwidth. I'm able to be more present in conversation. I feel like a better partner, a better employee, a better leader. My gosh, the consequences are I feel like a much more capable and confident leader. I'm more successful because I bought that mattress. Now, that's pretty compelling. And you're going to see that more and more mattress companies and every other company in the world has caught on to this idea. And they're talking about the consequences of the benefits, not the benefits, the consequences. And in our mattress example, the consequences are I feel more successful. Now, what really matters is the key human value. Now, I also happen to have a PhD in clinical psychology, and I can tell you that according to most psychologists, there's only a handful of key human values. But one of them is feeling competent and confident. right? That is a key human value. We all want to wake up every single day feeling like I can master today. I have the capability, I have the confidence, I am equipped and empowered to do my very best today. I can be successful in whatever is set before me today. That is a key human value. Now, what you're going to see is that is exactly what mattress companies talk about now. Is listen, you're going to be sexier, you're going to be more alluring, you're going to be more mesmerizing, you're going to be more compelling, you're going to be more successful because you're able to get good night rest every single night. Now, put into the chat right now if that makes sense to you and really eye-opening about how to move from attributes to benefits, benefits to consequences, and consequences to key human values. I'd love to hear if this is landing with you, if this makes sense to you, if this you see how to apply this to your own products and services. Please add to the chat anything that strikes you about this. Now, I have to tell you, at the core, your clients are looking for real, tangible outcomes. They're looking for that key human value that can transform their life. So ask yourself, are you helping them achieve success faster, maybe with greater ease, saving them time, energy, and frustration? Maybe you're guiding them to generate more revenue and build lasting wealth. And what that means is that you're actually empowering them to step into their own definition of financial freedom. Or maybe you're helping them improve their relationships. You're increasing trust, communication, and connection. That's really what the transformation is. Or maybe you're contributing to their health and well-being. Well, what that really means is that you're helping them feel more energized, more balanced, more whole. Or maybe you offer something that helps simplify their life. What that really means is that you are cutting through the noise and you're giving them more clarity, more focus, more peace. That's the key human value that you're offering. So these are the kinds of results that create loyalty, advocacy, and transformation. So let's articulate your value in a way that speaks directly to these kinds of desires, because when your audience can see clearly how their life will be better working with you, saying yes becomes the most obvious next step, right? I got to tell you, that is what matters. Okay, so I really hope that this was useful to you in a new way of thinking about not only who you serve, but how you serve them. All right, next we're going to talk about a really key component of who you serve and how you serve them. And this is all about minimizing risk. As we begin to shape your offer and position you in a category of one, there's something really important to remember. Your ideal client needs reassurance before she can commit. Even if she's inspired, even if she sees the value, there are still a few silent questions running through her mind, I promise you. Is it easy? Will this actually work? Can I really do this? And sometimes the can I really do this is about money, but many times it's about time. Can I really afford the time to do this? Can I really afford the investment to do this? So your job is to answer these questions before she even has to ask. That's how trust is built. That's how to turn a maybe into an absolutely. And that's where risk reversal comes in, whether it's a free trial, a money back guarantee, or maybe adding bonus value that exceeds expectations. These are all strategies that create a real sense of safety, right? They quiet the doubts and they let her feel confident about taking that first step with you. Now, remember, women don't need pressure, right? I know I certainly don't. I don't know if y'all need pressure. I do not need any more pressure. But we do need possibility. And so when you reduce the risk and you increase the reward, you create a space where your future client feels seen, they feel supported, and they feel ready to move forward with you. Again, this isn't about pressure. This is about possibility. And that's what turns interest into action. So let's make sure your offer is not just irresistible, but it's also reassuring. All right, we're coming to a close. Only a couple more opportunities for you to really hone in on not just who you're serving, but how you're serving them. Let's create context for your offer. Let's talk about what I call contextual clarity. Because when your audience is considering working with you, they're not just comparing features. We went through that laddering paradigm. They're weighing possibilities. Now, keep in mind, we are all about creating a category of one. But if you introduce yourself as a leadership coach, I got to tell you, there are 10 million other leadership coaches out there. So they're not just comparing features and price points and programs. They're weighing possibilities. They're looking at their future self saying, who do I believe can really bring me into the point of transformation that I'm hoping for? And one of the most powerful ways to move them into action is by helping them see the cost of doing nothing. If they stay where they are, what happens? Well, they remain stuck in the same cycle they're in. Or maybe they risk actually burning out or even giving up altogether because it's too hard, it's too difficult, I can't find the right answer, I can't figure out the right path. Or maybe they choose something different right now, and you can show them what that new reality really looks like. This is where your offer becomes transformational. You're going to help them see the total value of saying yes to themselves through you. You're going to be inviting them to invest in their success through you. So you're going to talk about the real return on investment, whether it's time saved, revenue gained, confidence rebuilt, or clarity restored. And then you want to create just a little urgency. Again, not pressure, but purpose. Let them know that there's a window of opportunity, a special bonus, a closing date, a limited opportunity. Again, scarcity is not about fear. It's about focus. And it helps your ideal client prioritize what matters most. So as you position your offer, paint the full picture of what's possible, the cost of doing nothing, and the total value of what you're offering, making it feel both powerful and time sensitive. And that's how we move from a maybe someday to a absolutely right now. All right. So all of you have access to exercises, resources, and homework. At the top of the call, I outlined the resource page. Within the resource page, you have a tab that you can click on to get to all the value-added bonuses, all the homework, all the exercise. And this is where the magic really starts to happen. Between the sessions, when you take these insights and you make them your own, oh my gosh, that's where your own transformation begins. So I've pulled together 3 powerful exercises that will help you apply what we've explored today with intention and clarity. First is your ideal customer brief. This is your chance to define exactly who you're serving, what they care about, and how to connect with them more deeply. Now listen, the gold here is in the details. So be specific, be bold. The clearer your vision, the stronger your message. Next is the spherical branding brief. This is all about giving your brand dimension, heart, voice, depth. You'll explore how your brand shows up in the world, what it stands for, and how you want it to be remembered. And lastly, it's the what's in it for me exercise. As I said, many of you go through this exercise, what's in it for me, with the vision of your ideal client in mind. But what I often see is the outcome of that exercise is attributes, it's benefits. But what I'm really inviting you to do is think about transformation. This will help you reframe your message from features to feelings. You'll craft your language around the transformation you offer in a way that makes your ideal client feel seen, heard, and really ready to act. You'll also find some value-added resources that are available to you, including, get this, I'm so excited that all of you are getting access to this, a client journey solution guide that we created specifically for you. Number two, a client empathy map template.
I went to his email. I guess you could probably just put the rates below each of his lanes,
Can
right?
you please mute yourself if you're speaking? And a client empathy map template. So I got to tell you, you now have a client journey solution guide, a client empathy map template, and a client journey map template. And these are incredibly valuable tools. I'd be happy to work through all of these resources and tools with you should you need some additional encouragement and help. And I encourage you to carve out a space this week to complete each of these tasks with care. These are honestly not just tasks, they're tools. And they'll bring you clarity, confidence, and momentum. And remember, you're not alone in this. We're walking this path together. You see the incredible community that we have created within this masterclass. We have more than 100 extraordinary leaders, trailblazers, pioneers, entrepreneurs, corporate leaders right here with you. And this is a time to lean into that community as well and tap into the collective brilliance here. Now, here's my final encouragement. In my experience, visibility becomes effortless when your target audience and your key message are both clarified and aligned. The goal isn't to do more, it's to do less with greater clarity and consistency. As you take bold, intentional action on the priorities that we've outlined together, remember this. You're not just growing your business or building a brand, you're creating a movement grounded in influence, impact, and trust. And again, if you'd like to support choosing the right platform, creating a sustainable content rhythm, or mapping your efforts to measurable results, I'd be honored to help. And I would truly love to welcome you to our powerful circle of women at leadHERship Global that are all deeply invested in each other's success. Let this be your next bold move. So your opportunity this week only is outlined here. And let me just say, you've already taken a significant step by participating in our masterclass, gaining insights and strategies to enhance your leadership journey. To continue this momentum, we invite you to join leadHERship Global, a community dedicated to empowering women leaders just like you. Now, together, we can navigate the challenges that we've outlined so far today. Of course, we all celebrate successes together, and we achieve our most ambitious goals. So if you're interested in learning more, visit leadHERshipGlobal.com to become part of our transformational community. If you decide to take that next step before our next session, which is next Wednesday, I'm also going to give you all of these value-added bonuses that are worth more than what we charge for the cost of membership. So you talk about minimizing risk, you literally have nothing to lose. We're going to help you expand your global network by giving you access to the My Most Trusted Network, which is worth $1,200. You're going to get access to a leadership diagnostic and review called Vantage Point, and you're going to get a 30-minute private review with me, and that's $1,500 of value. And then we're also going to do a private, tailored, personalized strategy review and growth roadmap for you. And that is worth $2,300. So in total, you're getting $5,000 worth of bonuses. So I got to tell you, there's never been a better time for you to take the step and join this incredibly impactful, transformational community of women in leadership. And if you're ready to take that first step to join leadHERship Global, then please do.